Hi, everybody. Welcome to the More Gems Show. I'm Steve Moriarty, your host. And with me tonight are my son, Michael, who's in charge of this production.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming again. We got another great show for you.
And here in for Jeff's replacement is Michael's fiance, Carrie. Hello, Carrie.
Hey,
Hello,
Carrie.
everybody. Welcome to the show. Glad to be here. I guess I got big shoes to fill. We'll see. But thanks for having me. And I'll be in the chat talking to everybody. And, if you got questions, kind of the same thing every show. If you got questions, make sure you to put them in the chat. And we'll have Steve answer for you. And, yeah, glad to be here tonight.
Cool. Yeah, Carrie, it's not Carrie's first rodeo. She's done this a few times. She did a couple of the Christmas specials with us, and she's filled in as chat moderator one or two other times, too. So, yeah, she'll be...
I'm a gem lover, too, so
yeah.
It's grown on me over the last 12 years that Mike and I have been together. So I know some stuff, and I can probably answer some questions, but we'll leave it up to the experts to answer some of the more in-depth questions.
Cool. All right. So I think, Carrie, you're going to start making the products live. So right now, for anybody who's unfamiliar with the show, all the products are going to be on MoreGems.com. You'll click the green banner and just start hitting refresh because Carrie's going to go through and make all the gems live. So what else do we got there, Steve?
Let's see. Without Jeff, I'm kind of lost here a little bit.
Well,
so we're going to talk a little about what the pricing is and how to make payments. So the prices that you're going to see tonight, we have an appraised price or the regular or the appraised price on stones, which comes from this gem guide, which is a market-driven independent pricing guide. They go to the trade shows, Tucson and the Asian shows, which we're going to talk about shortly. And they go to the wholesale dealers and get wholesale pricing, and then they put together this pricing guide, which gives us a wholesale price, and then they have a recommended markup for the jewelry industry, and that's where we get the appraised price. The retail price is our price online, and tonight most of the stones will be 15% off, and we actually have quite a few hidden gems, which are 25% off. So those will all be available tonight, and starting tonight, our entire websites, the MoreGems.com and TanzaniteJewelryDesigns.com, are both running 15% off. And this is in preparation for our upcoming trip, which we're leaving on Friday to two of the major world gem shows in Asia, which is the Bangkok Gemshow and the Hong Kong Gem and Jewelry Show. So we'll be, for 2 weeks, starting Friday, we'll be at these shows. And hopefully for our next show here, we'll have a real nice variety of things. Probably find some things we don't normally get in Africa. And so we have a lot of hopes for this show. It really is a major show that has manufacturers, cutters, just the entire Asian market is there, and Asia is the biggest producer of gems and jewelry in the world by far. I mean, more things are done in China and Bangkok than rest of the world together. So should be a good trip. We're excited to go. It's been quite a while since I've been there. I think 2008 was the last time I was in Bangkok. So I look forward to getting back.
Yeah, no, it'll be a good time. I'm excited. It'll be my first trip over there, and I know Jeffrey's excited too. We were talking about it. Me and Jeff went out golfing this weekend, and yeah, he was pretty excited. And we've got all the travel plans down, and we're ready to go. So I guess before we get headed into this, I want to say what's up to a few people. It looks like there's a lot of people from all over the world here. I see Meryl Wolf. They're from Michigan. We've got Janice from Alabama, Lisa from Texas, Kane from Perth. Then we've got somebody from North Carolina, Jacksonville, Florida. Yes, and there's Utah. I see Kara's mom's here. Hi, Ann. Texas, a couple people from Texas. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. I see Los Angeles just came in, New York. Very cool. So we have some really exciting stones to show you tonight. And if you're interested in purchasing, Jeffrey usually goes over this, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's the payment plans we have are, you can use credit card, PayPal, there's Google Pay, Venmo, all the major credit cards, and we have some financing options, which are through Bread Pay and Affirm. So those are all, available options on MoreGems.com or TanzaniteJewelryDesigns.com. So if you see something, I kind of recommend grabbing it up pretty quick, because when there's been a few times where, people have waited on it and then it's been snagged by somebody else. So if you see it and you like it, I'd say go for it. But anything else there, Steve?
No, and and that grabbing things, you have 30 days to return with us. You're never stuck with anything if you're unsatisfied, and you can pretty much trust the pictures and videos that are online. We work very, very hard to get them as accurate as possible, and I think we've done a good job with that. So trust what pictures are on there. The pictures we'll show you tonight are pretty accurate, but not as accurate as when we're in the studio. So, but we've been working on it, and Michael can do some adjusting on some of the pictures, which we haven't had the ability to do in the past. So hopefully we'll get everything accurate. We also have layaway, but layaway you'd have to do tomorrow. You'd have to call in, and we can set up a layaway, and you can lay away for as much as 6 months. We just look for 20% down and regular payments. That's all I got, Mike.
That's all he's got. Okay, how are we doing, Carrie?
Good. I'm making all the products live, so I have a few left, but just wanted to remind everybody that when you shop, you'll be on MoreGems.com, and you'll click that green banner at the top, and then use coupon code TRIP15, right?
Yep, TRIP15.
And
that's... Go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
I'll be posting as we go through, as Steve goes through each gem, I'll be posting the links to the gems too, so you'll guys be able to shop right from the chat as well. So that's all I got.
Yeah, speaking of the chat, for those of you who haven't, if you want to log into your Google account or YouTube account, there are a lot of people chatting. So if you'd like to join in, ask questions, or chat with the other viewers, that's all right there for you. You just need to log in.
I was looking at this scan to shop. Can we set it up that when there's a stone, they can just scan something and take it right to it?
Well, there is a way to, we do it on Alice's show, where there's a link that pops up right when the product shows, but we haven't been able to get that. There's just so many products on this one, and it's usually a lot of it's last minute that I can't quite get it set up that way. But if somebody watches tomorrow, they'll see the link pop up when the product pops up, and they can just click that and shop directly from YouTube.
Okay.
That'll be a future thing. So right now, go to MoreGems.com and shop there.
All right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, let's get started. So the first one, it's been a busy month, and here's a stone that I've had for years, literally. But the color was kind of weird brownish pink. This still has a little tone of brown in it, but it changed color because I heated it. I took the chance and threw it in the oven and cooked it at 950 degrees, and it just came out great. I've done this a few times in the past and had mixed reviews with how it came out. I had one that came out, just went brown on me. But this, there's 2 or 3 of these that I heated, I think 4 of them in the show, that just came out remarkable. I'm just really thrilled with how they came out. Pinks right now are very difficult to get. The world is not supplying a lot of pink gems. But these I've had since the early 1990s is when I bought this rough. Came out of Nigeria, and this I'm just thrilled with how it heated. The color is kind of peachy pink, almost paprasha-like color. I suppose if it was sapphire, maybe it would be paprasha, but just a beautiful, beautiful gem. It weighs 17.53 carats. It's a stone I cut. It's a Berrien style pavilion step cut crown. Praise price of $11,670. The value of pinks in the guide have gone up dramatically, and I think just recently, the most recent one, there was another increase on pinks. It's just the limited supply of pinks in the world right now. Congo produced some very light color in pinks, but nothing really, really fine pink. So this stone is the price online is $57.80, and with the 15% off, it's $4,917 or $280 a carat. Just really, really a beautiful gem. This back in, I was doing the show in Tucson. I was exhibiting, and this lady came and set up right across from me, and she had 2 foot lockers full of all this rough out of Nigeria. So it was just great that I could just sit there and before even the show opened, just go over and start picking out rough gems because it was a brand new supply. Exciting moment that I remember well. I did work at Kmart a couple of times in my life. I was manager of the appliance department, and I ran many blue light specials. I don't know how I did on this one, but
I think it was pretty good. You got Carrie's cracking up over there. I don't think she expected that.
I know about the pet stores. I know about some of the jobs, like the pet store.
They do blue
the
light
mattress
specials.
Place.
No,
I
when
did-
you worked in the past.
Yes. Yes, I had my own pet store and a wholesale pet store, and yeah, I worked at Roadway, which was the shortest job I ever had. They wanted to fire me the first night, but that was not a job for me for sure. All right, moving on. That's our blue light special for tonight. So it's available till those 10 pairs are sold. I think you'll find it's a very worthwhile purchase. All right, our next stone is a trillion cut blue zircon. This I cut in a step trillion, weighs 6.68 carats. This comes from Malawi, which is the newest source for blue zircon. Malawi produces probably the most stable color blue zircons on the market. I've heard that, although I haven't really found that the Cambodian material has any issues with stability. Tanzanian material definitely has some stability issues. They can change color just by getting into the wrong type of light, mercury vapor lights or something that has some kind of effect on them that it can turn them brown. You can heat them up again and the color comes back, but they're not totally color stable. So, but my experience is Cambodian and this material has been very stable. This particular material just produces some really great colors. Mike, can you turn to P?
Yes, and somebody asked about the pair of earrings. They're 1 carat each, right?
Yes. Yeah. They're just over 1 carat each. They vary from 2 carat 13 up to 247, I think, is what the weights are. I kicked out most of the things that were under 2¼ but there was a couple of small ones that were just really, really nice color, so I just kept them in. So is that on?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see a little more of the green, but in person, this is just a really hard color to capture. And these are just remarkable gems. And if you're satisfied with the colors you see in the pictures, you'll be much more satisfied when you have it in your hand. There's just a beautiful, intense, mostly blue with that secondary green tint. The camera tends to pull that green separately, and it looks like it's spotty green, but the color of these blue zircons is just the blue-green throughout. Just really, really a great color. Blue zircon has always been one of our best sellers. And it's something, again, we'll see our Cambodian supplier when we go to is he in both shows? Bangkok and Hong Kong?
Yes.
Yeah. Because he's from not Singapore, he's from Malaysia, which is the peninsula down south of Bangkok. If you leave Bangkok and follow it, it goes down to Singapore. So he's somewhere in a city down through there, and he just has really nice Cambodian blue zircons. But the big advantage of these Malawis is I can cut them, and we get them cut perfectly, whereas most of the stuff from Cambodia is on the deep side, deep to excessively deep. We try to avoid those excessively deep ones, but they're all cut deeper just because the nature of the crystal is just a very deep crystal, and Asia doesn't know how to waste material to get the right cut, so they just cut a real deep cut. But the color becomes remarkable because the deeper you make a cut, the color intensifies. So you do get some pretty incredible colors out of there also. But this is Malawi blue zircon, appraised price of $2,340. Another gem that the appraised price has been going up steadily over the last couple years. Our price online is $1,060, and with the 15 off, it's $901 or $135 a carat. Just really a beautiful, beautiful gem. The big selling point of blue zircon is its brilliance. Because it has very high refractive index, you just get a really remarkably brilliant stone, almost a diamond-like brilliance.
I have a blue zircon, and it's set in gold. It's a necklace, and it looks really pretty. I get a lot of comments on it. It is very diamond-like.
Yeah. It looks good in either color, but I like it in yellow.
What would you set this one in if someone called and wanted to get it set up?
It's a tough call anymore. It used to be for the last 10 years, it's been white gold, white gold, white gold. But the market is definitely changing back, and you're starting to see more on our website in yellow gold just because the demand is there. And there's still a lot of people like my daughter, and you like yellow gold. Mm-hmm. Who else? Somebody else in the family just really likes yellow gold over white gold. So, that market is there, and people are starting to revert back. It's an ever-changing flow from white to yellow. When I started in the business, it was all white. I started in 1975, and everything was white. In 1976, we moved to yellow. And then probably in the middle I don't know when it was, maybe around 2000, platinum came in. It was probably a little earlier than that. And we started moving back to white gold, and it's where we're at now. So I would guess over the next 10 years, we'll move back to yellow. We had a little spurt of rose gold, but rose gold mostly died. There's still people that love rose gold, but the trend of rose gold has kind of slowed dramatically. So up next is another stone that owes its color to heating.
Well, before we do that, I just saw a comment pop up that it's pretty early where he is in Diego Suarez, Madagascar. He has a question for you, though. So
okay, I
maybe
love
you can
Diego
answer it and let him go to
Suarez.
bed.
Yeah.
He wants to know what is the best way to polish quartz, especially amethyst.
Well, there is no there is no best way. I use ultralapse, which unfortunately for most foreign cutters it's too expensive because they don't last long. You know, you use an ultralap, at least one to cut a stone, and they're probably $3-4 a piece. So it does add to the cost of cutting. But the polishing compound is cerium. There's a lot of different things offered to put cerium on. Dark side lap, some of the laps from from where we get the bat laps. Why am I having a? Well, you can buy them from Kingsley North, but there are other things people recommend, but I haven't had a lot of success with anything, and I still use ultralaps. It's called a spectra lap, and that's what I use to polish. So I'm not real good at recommending other things for you to polish with because overseas you're probably going to have a hard time getting ultralaps and just not going to be a viable alternative for you. But cerium oxide, of course, is the compound. You just have to find the base you're going to use to polish it on. Can't help you there. Sorry, Diego Suarez. I love Diego Suarez. I try to think of the hotel we used to stay in. Just a really, really cool place. The whole area is just a remarkable place. We took a trip to the names are so long, but to a sapphire mine, and it was probably the scariest moment of my life when the miners really thought we were there to steal their mines from them, and everybody's around with machetes and they're all drinking beer, and I thought it was our end at that time, but fortunately our driver kind of calmed everything down and explained why we were there, and we were just there touring the mines, and but exciting moment. Yeah, I used to know the name I'll think of it. It's about that long, the name of it, but interesting sapphire mine.
He said it was Ambon Drama
Buffet, Ambon Drum Buffet.
I'm probably butchering that name, but
that's the mine. The Chinese came in there and they pretty much cut half of their mountain away, and they thought we were in there to do the same thing. They stole the best part of their mining, and so they just thought we were there to screw them over again. So, but lived through it, and but it was a scary, scary time because they were pretty excited. Anyway. Up next is another stone that I just heated. This was on our last show. If you remember it, it was quite red. The color of this stone was more red than I've seen. It was reddish brown, but noticeably red, a different color. I didn't know what to expect, but man, what I got was something special. If you're looking for a blue Tanzanite, this is it, because it is such an incredible blue color. Just nice color throughout, no dark areas, and just an extraordinary blue. There's a little bit of violet to it. The ends have dramatic red flash in it because that the original rough material, the cut stone, that when it was red, the ends were just bright red flashes. And the bright red flashes are still in this. They're not quite as dramatic, but they're there in full red color. And that is just a real nice highlight for this remarkably blue gem. Can we see that picture again, Mike? The video? I was going to show you on the girdle of this stone. You know, I had the chance to cut this out, but there was a needle right at the edge of it. And as it comes around here, you'll see the little teeny bit of it I left in because it's there up towards the top, and it's right in the girdle. And this is where a needle was. As I cut it, the needle came out and just left the impression of it. You know, I thought the one benefit of that, if they come out making a synthetic or something, this would be an area that you could identify that as having been a natural crystal in there of Tanzanite. There are these long needles that form in Tanzanite, and this was one of those needles. And I could have taken 10 points off this and cut it out. I just thought it was a nice feature to leave in it. You know, has no effect on the beauty of the gem, and it's an identifying character. Oh, we lost the picture there, Mike. Yeah, we're back. So, I mean, you can start to see the reds in the end there.
So, Steve, is this something that would be like a collector's piece because of how big it is? Or
it'd be a good pendant.
It'd be a pendant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe too big for most rings, but you can see the reds in the end. I mean, it's dramatic. And, you know, these pictures never show the red as it is, but that's all red flash down there at the ends. You know, which is just an interesting characteristic. Adds a lot of character to Tanzanite when you get those red flashes. It only occurs in the deepest colors, and it's not very common, but it does show up from time to time. Can you hit us on
I don't know.
Al?
It went out.
Okay, let's don't fool with it.
Yeah.
It looks good enough as it is. So, but a great gem, you know, and this probably, I don't know, what did I rate this one as? 1,000. Yeah. So this is one of maybe 3 gems in my life that I've rated 1,000. I mean, everything about it is perfection. Including my part of it, the cut. It just cut really nicely and just came out. Couldn't have hoped for more. And the color, you know, if probably on the website has the original color of it unheated. You know, we left it for a month unheated, see if somebody would buy it unheated. But it was not a beautiful unheated color, but it was unique, and I really didn't know if it was going to heat to a great gem or what it was going to heat because I'd never seen the color before, but it heated to a great gem. Yeah. So a lot of special things about this. I mean, it's as big as a 52 karat stone could be. I mean, there's no extra belly to it. You know, it just has a nice big spread. You know, because sometimes you'll find a stone that's this kind of size and it's only 2/3 of the apparent size, just because of the depth of the belly, because you don't waste the material that's underneath. You know, but you want to get full brilliance to it, which there's no dead spots in this gem at all. So it's just really special stone. Price of $37,000 or $64,535. Our online price $37,500. And with the 15 off, it's $31,875 or $617 a carat. Really a special gem. And it's one of those that if you don't buy it, I'm just as happy. Yeah. One of those I like to own, and it's like the big Morganite I have. if I don't sell that ever, I'm just happy. It's just a pleasant thing to own, just fun to show them, and, to have special stones like this. All right, next gem up is a yellow tourmaline. This one comes from Congo, and Congo is pretty much not producing these days. There's little or nothing coming out of Congo. It's produced for the last 6, 7, maybe more years, but nothing now. And I think that monkeypox, they talked about it being in the mining area near the border, and that's where this material is also mined. I'm not sure it's in the exact area, but the monkeypox is kind of devastating the people there. But this one doesn't have any monkeypox. I've had this for quite some time, so. And I think we had a case of monkeypox here in the U.S. recently.
I don't know. I hadn't heard of it until Carrie's nephew. He was talking about monkeypox. He makes these little shorts for YouTube. He's got his own little YouTube channel, and he was talking about it on there. And I was like, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah. So this is a price of $1,590. $890 is our price online, and with the 15 off, it is $757 or $114 a carat. This is probably, again, all step cut, I'm pretty sure. Most of the material from this source is completely natural because it came out of the ground lighter colors. There's very few deep colors in material coming out of Congo. Light greens, light pinks, light yellows are typically what comes out of there. So they never required any heating, because most of the tourmaline that is heated, it was heated because it's overly dark, would be why most of the greens are heated, just because they're just too dark. And once you heat them, they tend to lighten up. So completely natural color here. And next up, Carrie, are you ready? Are they available?
Hidden gems.
We're doing hidden gems. All right.
Yeah.
We got the first batch.
The first batch of hidden gems. Carrie,
Okay, we've got a lot of hidden gems this time. We usually have 4 or 5. Now we have 3 groups of 4 or 5. Mainly because of the trip that's coming. I want to turn some goods, and we've got a lot of great stones. Most of these have probably been on a show. One of them will be missing the Zoltanite or Zarite or Turkish diaspore, that hexagonal shaped one. It had some table issues just before the show, so I decided to polish it, and it didn't work out too well. Because the problem with Turkish diaspora is that it is a big problem cutting. And most people don't cut it because of the difficulties, and I experienced that difficulty because I just went to polish and it just fractured just below the surface. I cut it again and did the same, and it fractured below the surface. So obviously cutting diamond on a tin lap is not going to work, so I have to find a different way of cutting it. So that one won't be available tonight, but the others are. And to start with, how you coming there, Carrie?
They're all on there.
They're all available. So these are all 25 off. And the first
just,
two...
to jump in, you just need, if you're on the page, you just need to hit refresh, and they should show up.
So the first two is a match pair of these kunzites, and the kunzite's just a very, very fine color. These are just extraordinary kunzites. And kunzite's another one like the diaspore that just is a problem cutting, and a lot of people won't touch it because of that. I don't think I've ever cut kunzite at all, and I probably won't. It's just you get tired of having these stones that are problems. But kunzite's just a beautiful gem. It has some caveats to wearing it. You don't want to wear it in the sun. It's an evening stone because it will fade. You give this 2 days of full sunlight and it's going to be half or a third of the color of what it was. So just try and remember not to wear it out in direct sun, and it'll maintain its color. I would avoid sunlight at all. I don't know what exactly it takes. I know what will do it. We did a show across the street from us here, an art show, and showed our gems out there. And it was a bright sunny day and 2 days in the weekend, and I had a stone that was this kind of color, and it's just very, very pale now. And I still own it, and that's been 30 years ago. It was a lesson. You got to think about what you got in your cases, because there are stones that will fade given the strong sunlight. But this pair...
I'm going to show how big that is too.
Oh, sure. Yeah. We forgot our hand again. So it's a pretty good size stone. The pair weighs 51.63 carats. Nope, that's the Tanzanite. Close. It weighs 47.34 carats. So almost 25 carats apiece. Not too big for a ring, but a big ring. Good ring and pendant, or pendant and bracelet, but just really, really great color. Just beautiful gems. And the appraised price on these is $8,050. Our online price $33.60. So with the 25 off, it is $2,520 or $53 a carat. I mean, it's just a remarkable gem for a very, very low price. You get kunzite for the price of amethyst, and not that, yeah, but that's the kind of price it's in, and it's...
So can you think of any other gems that would have fading issues like this?
Well, some amethyst. We've had amethyst crystals that I've had too close to the windows that have turned lighter color on me. That said, I've tried to fade other stones that were overly dark with sunlight and had no success fading them. Amethyst. So some sources of amethyst fade, some don't.
Those ones in the window were up there for months and months.
Yeah, but I did the stuff from, that was from Uruguay too. I did stones from Uruguay that I could not make them fade. I don't know if because they were just such deep color. So it's kind of mixed. What else fades? It's a good question. Some of the topaz, like the stuff they're mining in Colorado, Utah. I don't know if any of that is totally stable. They say some of it is, but I have my doubts. The stuff from Mexico is unstable. Those will not hold up in sunlight. Whereas precious topaz from Brazil is stable. So it doesn't have a fading problem. Some morganites that are peach color will fade to pink, which, if you really wanted the peach color, it's not a good thing. But if you want pink, you can fade some peach color morganites to pink. And I'm sure there are others. But
you ever heard of any Tanzanite fading?
No, never heard of Tanzanite fading. So that's a fine pair of kunzites for inexpensive price. Yeah, here's the, whoops. So there's the pair. They are a really good matching pair and just really, really great color. And I have avoided kunzites because of the fading issue, but I've been buying them lately. I just find it's such a pleasing color for an inexpensive price, and if you're careful and know how to wear it, it's not an issue. So we'll probably run across more kunzite. Most of it's cut in Thailand and in China, so we'll probably see more kunzite. I'll look for some interesting cuts and really deep colors. So we'll probably have more of that. Yeah, hopefully the shows that we're going to will get some a little more variety than what we've had. A lot of the places that I travel to or are used to traveling to produce the same gems. So, getting to Bangkok and China, you'll see more of a variety because they're like me, and the Chinese or the people from Bangkok, and particularly Sri Lanka and Bangkok, they are the world travelers. Wherever I go, they are my competitors. They're who's there set up with shops and, buying material to send back to Asia for cutting. So they do go worldwide. And so we'll see a little more variety than just from the places that I typically travel, is my expectations anyway, and I'm sure it is. So one of the other gems from these hidden gems would be this peridot. So this is a 9.24 karat peridot. This comes from Pakistan. Just a nice, unique cut. Make a interesting ring. Can we switch to the other camera? So I just like these long cuts. Just because whatever you do with them, it makes a unique looking piece. You can just do it really simple. You can run a little row of diamonds down the side, 3 diamonds in a diamond shape on the side. All those things just produce a really great look. When you start with a different shape like this, you get a different looking ring. So just a beautiful color. This is typical of Pakistan, that blue secondary color to the green. Almost no yellow to it at all. This is the material that when it started coming out, people would say, "Oh, I hate my birthstone peridot," and then you show them one of these, they go, "Oh, well, that's pretty nice." And that's because most of the material up till the probably 90s came out of Arizona, and Arizona is just typified by a yellow secondary color. Whereas this has a blue secondary, much more attractive. And that's true in most green gems. A little blue to your emerald, a little blue to the tsavorite is a desirable thing. So this stone is a praise price of $5,555. Our online price is $29.60. The sale price is, with 25 off, is $2,220 or $240 a carat. Just really, really fine peridot. And the next hidden gem is a Morganite. Morganite to me is just a really pleasing color. I love this peach coloration. This I cut into a step pear shape. Just has great brilliance. Just the color is just right. Weighs 28.9 carats. appraised price is $19,580. That's a lot. But our price online is $65.70. And with the 25 off, it's $4,928 or $171 a carat.
So I get this asked a lot on our YouTube channel, especially with that big, the big trillion you just cut.
Yeah.
They see that appraised price. I think that one was appraised for like 192,000,
Right.
but then you were offering it for 77,000. So why such the big difference, and how can you offer it for the lesser price?
I don't know. Well, it's a lot to do with the source for the rough, and buying the rough is different than buying a cut stone, because I'm going to guess that when we go to Asia, I can't buy this stone for much less than that. And the cutting, well, hopefully, that's the other thing, where they're looking for cutters that do cutting like we do, which I know there are becoming more and more cutters using fine equipment overseas, and that's who we're searching out. But a stone like this over there is going to cost me probably similar to what we're selling it at. It's just the sources I have for this material are just very, very good. They have just some very nice rough, and they're just very reasonable. So we are way under the appraised price for this material. Why it's so much, I don't know. Again, these are from the Gem Guide, and they're out shopping the shows, and they're the ones telling me that's what that appraised price is. So, the more I can be under it, the better. And I'm still making my margin, but, it's all about your source for the material and how you buy the material, which varies dramatically. The routes it gets to you. Sometimes you have to pay more for material when it's something that's steadily coming, and, it establishes a price like Tanzanites. You're not, when I buy Tanzanites, it's almost the same price every time. It's not like there's a variable price. But stones that aren't there as often or as commonly available, the price can fluctuate dramatically. It can be 10 times difference. And this material just came at the right price. I don't know where this didn't come from. Mula. I don't remember. Yeah.
Is that an Ethiopian stone?
Yeah. No, it says Mozambique. I don't know when. Huh. That's interesting. I don't know where those stones, because his would have been Ethiopia,
Right.
and they would have been natural untreated.
Might have sold those.
Yeah. And the appraised price is that's part of the difference too, is treatments that are involved, and the appraised price doesn't account for that. So some treated stones will be significantly less than what a natural untreated stone of the same color would be. And that's partially what's, it can be, treatments can be 20-30% difference in what the value of a gem is. But this color is the epitome of what Morganite should look like. Unless you're looking for pink, which fortunately more people are looking for the peach color these days than the pink. So I don't buy a lot of the pink to cut, but the peach is really where the market is. So, and this is really great stone. Looks much like the 300 carat I cut. Very similar. I think it's probably a little deeper color because of its size, but and the next hidden gem is a Tanzanite. And this Tanzanite I cut a while back, and it's been on a show, but it's just a great stone. for this unusual cut. It's really fully brilliant. And it's one of those that I should take the time and set it up because it's going to make a unique piece. Just great for a pendant. Could be a great ring. And this one weighs 8.60 carats. Appraised price is $9,460. Our online price of $5,590, and with the 25 off, it's $4,193 or $488 a carat. Just really nice deep color, and as you can see, some nice red flash in it. It just has a lot going for it. So what's the coupon code for this, Mike?
Rare 25.
Rare 25.
Yes, so if anybody likes these hidden gems, I had somebody commenting they were wanting the prices. For this group, I didn't make the overlays for all 5 of the stones. There's just too many of them. So they're all listed online, so you'll see the prices there. And then whatever the price online is listed, you'll take 25% off of that. And if you guys are enjoying the show, we'd love it if you gave us a thumbs up, liked, subscribed, shared. We really appreciate it.
I'm adding the prices as we go through too, so you'll see with the code RARE25 for each hidden gem. I'll put the price for you so you guys know. But then you have to add the code at checkout for that price to reflect in the cart. So, but I'll keep adding it for the rare one so you guys can see.
Thank you, Carrie. All right, that was the last of our, the Turkish diaspora. Yeah, darn. That was a nice stone. No, I broke it. I screwed it up.
Last minute.
I knew it was a risk, and as soon as I touched it, it went. So now I got to find somebody that actually knows how to cut it. Which the Wabito brothers in Canada, I wish you were in the U.S., I'd send it to you and have you give me a hand with that stone. But we'll see if we can figure out what it actually takes to polish it. Because doing it twice and having to do the same thing, it's just going to continue doing that. So it's just the wrong way of polishing. So up next.
Oh,
okay.
Well, no, not really a question, but I just wanted to say that there was somebody watching from Brazil, from Minas Gerais. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
I haven't been there in a long time.
Don't we have like tourmalines and stuff from there that we've
we have
shows? What?
You're wearing one on your neck.
I told him, I said I think I have a tourmaline from there. I think I have multiple tourmalines, but that name sounds so familiar. I feel like we see a lot of stuff in Tucson from that.
Yeah, back in the 80s, I traveled there. But the production's been somewhat sporadic, to say the least. Hasn't been a lot of production out of Brazil, but they're still producing some. We bought tourmaline crystals, I think, one Denver show a few years back.
Oh, we just bought some in Tucson.
From Brazil?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the one Carrie's wearing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that was I don't know. Can't remember which mine it was from. But that's that area, I'm sure.
What about the amethyst or the citrine?
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Yeah, we don't have any amethyst in this show, but it's from Bahia in Brazil. Good point there, Carrie. Yeah, we've got a lot of that. We got 3 kilos of that to cut. So
better get on that.
Yeah, Michael was cutting one. Yeah, it popped off the dop for him, and he didn't get back to it for this show. It was supposed to be on this show.
Well, I was almost done with the pavilion, and I had a row of facets left, and it popped off the dop, and it was just you were off that day, so I didn't have any assistance to figure out how to reposition it to get it back on the dop. So, and then after that, it was too late. I just had too many other things going on. So next show, but it was going to be a pretty sweet trillion. So you can look forward to that.
Yeah. We'll get more of those online because they sell really well. The color from Bahia is almost the color of what came out of Rwanda, which most people say was the finest Tanzanite or finest amethyst to ever come out of the ground, which I would agree with. But the Bahia material is very, very close. So, all right. And up next is the subject of our last major video.
Like to play that right now for them?
Yes. Why don't we play the short of that video? How many people have watched these videos?
This one did pretty well. I think there's definitely well over 10 million views on this across the platforms. It was just a lot of comments, a lot of some people didn't like that you faceted opal. Other people thought it was beautiful. A lot of people think that you wasted too much material. Which,
it started at over 600 carats and came out to be 200, but there was a lot of issues in it.
Right, and that's what maybe you can explain to everybody here that's watching if they were curious about that. We'll go ahead. We'll play the video, and then you can kind of discuss your yield and what happened there. So we'll show you that video that got all the views.
This is a 625 carat Ethiopian opal. Should cut a beautiful gem, and those colors that you're seeing will reflect through the stone.
So when it comes to yields, the average yield that I get is about 40%. So if it weighed 500 carats, you're going to get 200 carats out of it. This yield was a little lower. Just it had some issues that I had to get out of it, some inclusions, and the shape was really blocky, which
Ethiopian
is
opal.
not really good for yield.
Mystical, with the colors floating within.
People, when they're selling rough, they say, "Oh, it's really blocky," but that's
This is a
some of the worst yields you get are the blocky rough. Blocky meaning it's as deep as it is wide, and it's just shaped as if you saw in the beginning of this, it was very rounded, and so it just means a lot of waste in the material when you cut. So I think I got maybe 30% out of this, something like that. But it's just standard. I mean, if you get 50%, you did remarkable on a piece. 50% means the piece of rough looked almost like what the finished stone did. That's the only way you're going to get 50% out of a piece. Some of the tourmalines we were talking about, Brazilian tourmaline, sometimes those you can get 60%. They look like pencils and they're just shaped like the finished stone. And you can get 60% out of them, which is as good as you'll ever do in any piece of rough. Diamonds typically get 40 to 50% yield. So that's just the nature of cutting. You're not going to do better than 40% typically. I'm always happy when I get 45% out of a piece of material. And typically you'll make some money when you do that. I don't know if we can show this guy. It's without it. Yeah, it's not going to show. This stone, daylight by far is the best.
Let me see if we can get farther back.
You can see the colors in it, but when you get this in daylight, it's just a remarkable, just like this. Really remarkable colors. They're not extremely intense, but the colors are just beautiful throughout it. And the unfortunate thing about this material, it's from Ethiopia. Ethiopia, yes. And this particular material is not stable. So if you leave it out for too long. We've cut a few of these, and the last one I cut like this, it actually lasted for a year. We went to set it, and Michael saw that it was starting to fracture. And what happens, the surface, you get little cracks just right near the surface. I should have got that other stone out. And they'll just crack right at the surface, and typically you recut it and it'll crack again right at the surface. So they're just not stable gems, so you can't mount them. I suppose you could mount it, wear it that evening, and then put it back into a wet atmosphere. You may be able to get away with it like that and actually wear it. But, if this material was totally stable, the price would be 10 times what it is that we're asking for it. This material is, this particular stone at 198 carats. I have a appraised price of $79.20, which that's made up because it's not in the guide. But our retail price $49.50, and with the 15% off, it's $4,208 or $21 a carat. It would be, if it were stable, I don't know what it'd be. It'd be $200 a carat. I'm not sure. Could you ask? I don't know what you could ask. It'd be just one incredible gem being 200 carats. When's the last time you saw a faceted 200 carat opal that had color like this in it? I can't say I've ever seen one. So the value is because it's not totally stable. So we store it in a baggie with a wet cloth around it, double bag it so it doesn't dry out, and it'll stay stable. So it's really a collector stone. Like I say, I suppose you could mount it and just not wear it for more than a couple hours, probably. And it would, in my experience, it would be stable. I don't know what it takes to dry these out, but the ones we've had problems with were months to years before they went. But I believe they will all eventually go. I just don't think they're stable. When we bought this, it was dry. There's a lot of material they sell that it's wet, it's in water, because they won't last the day out of water without crazing. But some of the material is much more stable. They call it stable. They told me this was stable, but my experience is it's not totally stable. So therefore the price. This stone was more an advertising thing for us. The 10 million views paid for the gem many times over. Because to sit down and spend, what did we spend on this? 30 hours, you think?
No, I
thought
you said it was maybe 10.
It was longer because it took me forever to preform it, I think.
Yeah, it took you about an hour and a half to polish the table.
Yes, yeah. I think there's probably 20 hours in it. So not a high profit item, but the value, like I said, was in 10 million and more views. So it really is a good publicity item. And it's a beautiful gem finished. If anybody out there wants to buy it, I do have a couple of dings in it that I have to repair. So we're going to be gone for 2 weeks, and I won't be able to get to it till after that. So it's a stone you can't really own in your hands for probably 3 weeks. But, for a collector, it's a worthwhile item. And, like I say, I wonder about that part-time wearing. You wear it out and come back and store it properly, and
that's what
could it last forever?
Yeah, that's what a couple of people said in the comments. They said, well, could you wear it out and then just put it back in a jar of water when you're done with it and just store it then? So
I think I'm going to have to raise the price on this and just say, I'll give it to Nancy and let her try it. We'll test it out. Yeah, interesting thought. We have a few more pieces, smaller pieces that cut like this, and I don't think there's anything quite as good as this one, but it's a special piece, fun to cut, fun to talk about, great to show. I mean, people are always excited to see it. And, I was photographing it. I was a little disappointed, and it's probably when I priced it. Then Michael took me outside in the daylight, and what what a world of difference, and that's true of all Ethiopian opals. Daylight is their best friend.
Speaking of cutting, we have a question on cutting.
Uh-huh.
So our friend from Brazil is asking, when you cut, are you based on diagram faceting?
No.
Or no?
I mean, I've cut from diagram, but I generally don't. The problem with cutting from diagram is weight loss. Unless you pick the perfect diagram that fits your piece of rough exactly, you're going to lose extra weight. And the problem in cutting is you go to start the cut and you run into something and you have to change the cut. So if you're not cutting from diagram, it's easy to do. If you're cutting from diagram, you either have to find a new diagram or go to just freeform cutting. But I've always been pretty much just freeform cutter, cut out the bad stuff, see what you got, and create a cut to go with the shape that you have left. So, but, I've done hundreds of cuts using a diagram. So there's nothing wrong with using a diagram. It just often doesn't work because you'd be remarkable how many times you start a cut and you run into an inclusion or some problem and you have to change the cut. So one of the issues you're going to have when you're doing a diagram is you're not going to really want to change it. So you're going to leave something in it just so you don't have to change it. But if you learn to cut without a diagram, you're going to be a better cutter. Then you can use a diagram, but at least you know how to get yield out of material by creating your own cut. And creating your own cut is mainly forming the girdle, getting rid of the garbage that's in it, and then seeing what you got left and going on from there. So it's the best way to cut. Diagrams are what people use mostly these days, but I don't. So up next, anything else we wanted to say about that opal? It was a challenge to cut, for sure. It was a problem because, I was worried about it getting too dry. And when you glue them up, you have to let them set overnight. So, I use epoxy. And I suppose, the right thing to use with that would have been probably wax because it solidifies immediately. But my issue with epoxy is it's got to set so long that I had to keep the stone moist, for 8 hours. And it didn't allow the epoxy to dry because epoxy is not really friendly with high moisture. So it was a problem and it broke loose on me. So, so there was problems involved, but ended up to be a great stone. So next stone up, I have a note here.
No, go ahead with this one.
Go ahead with this one. Oh, that's a blue zircon. Where's that at? Oh, there you are. There you are. So this is a Portuguese round blue zircon that comes from Malawi. I don't know who cut this one. Oh, Linda did. This was cut by Linda Thierry. She cuts for us here. She's a friend. She's been cutting for quite some time. She doesn't spend a lot of time cutting, but she does a really great job. And this is a beautiful gem. She's expert at Portuguese rounds. And this is a modified Portuguese round. I think the pavilion doesn't have the full five rows, but the crown does. And it really worked out well. It's just a very, very brilliant stone. Why do I like the little camera better than the big camera, Mike?
What's that?
It looks better in the small view than it does in the big view. See what I mean?
Yeah, it's just, you don't see all the brightness to it. And it's probably not on that still on the landscape.
There it brings the green in, but again, it kind of separates it out, and it's almost too green. You know, like I mentioned before, this is a gem that it's a mixed blue-green, you know, whereas this camera is wanting to separate. It does that to a lot of stones that have two colors in it. Instead of showing it as a blended color, it kind of splits it out. But this comes from Malawi. Yeah, it just looks so much better up in the small screen. I'm sure we're on. Maybe we need the 4K, huh? Need the 4K for that big a picture. I don't know.
Could be, yeah, with that, you know, the size of the stone is kind of small
So,
in comparison.
so the appraised value of this stone is $1,840. $990 is our price online, and with the 15% off, it is $842.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Do you have to go to college to be a certified gemologist?
To be a certified, well, you have to go to some schooling to be certified. So I'm not a certified gemologist, but I'm a gemologist.
Alice is, isn't she?
Alice is a graduate gemologist of GIA. I don't know what the, I guess that's the only thing you can get is a graduate gemologist. I don't think they offer certified gemologists. I could be wrong. I don't know who would give you a certified gemologist status. I don't know what they're, I gotta assume they're graduate gemologists. Yeah, I'm not sure what they call them from Gem A. So Gem A and GIA, Gem A is in England and GIA is US.
The Gemological Association of Great Britain.
Which is even tougher courses than GIA is my understanding. So anyway, this stone's from Malawi, cut by Linda Thierry. And just, again, for blue zircon, just remarkable brilliance. You know, if you look at the picture, one of the characteristics of blue zircon is doubling. It's strongly doubly refractive. And if you look at the back pavilion facet, you can see that it looks like two, you know, those facet meets. You can see it looks like two close together. And that's the doubling. Just characteristic of quite a few gems. Blue zircon, most notable probably. All right, I think Alice has something she wants to talk to you about, doesn't she?
Yep.
Alice?
Thanks, Steve. Hi, I'm Alice, and I am the graduate gemologist here at Moriarty's Gem Art, and I am the host of Alice in Gemland, where we debut the newly designed and pieces that we've made, so you can be the first ones to see them before they hit the website. So when you're looking at our YouTube at More Gems, take a look and click notify me, so you know when my upcoming show is. And I hope to see you all there. Back to you, Steve.
All right, thanks, Alice. So Alice, every, I don't know how often, monthly or so?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing a show featuring the stones we cut and the pieces of jewelry we manufacture. She does a really great job. Alice is a graduate gemologist and really knows her stuff. And if you talk to her, which everybody who calls talks to Alice, you know well that she knows her stuff. So up next is another Tanzanite. So this Tanzanite actually looked in the unheated form. It looked just like the other big Tanzanite. It was red. You know, they both looked like identical colors, and they heated very, very similarly. You know, this one is a little more violet than the big one, but man, does it have red flash. It is just everywhere in the stone. You know, there's few that have so much red flash like this. That means you could just see it. And usually the camera doesn't show it as dramatically, but this is really a remarkable stone for red flash. If you're into red flash, this is it. You know, and exactly what causes that red color. I mean, if you look at the rough and you look down the axis of a really deep colored crystal, the C-axis is red. You know, it's you don't see the yellow. That's the typical third color. Lost the screen. Okay. You just see red. You know, but exactly what causes red in a stone that is trichroic blue, purple, yellow, I'm not exactly sure. If anybody knows the answer to that question, please let me know, because I don't know what the explanation is. It's not dispersion, I don't believe. Typically dispersion, you don't see the amount of color in such large planes. I don't know. I can't explain it. But it's a characteristic that's there in the deepest colored tanzanites, more common in stones that are a little more violet than those that are pure blue. But as we saw in that 51 carat, it's a mostly blue stone that still shows dramatic red flash. So this is a pretty special stone. It gets another very high rating, 992 out of 1,000. It's 45% blue and 55% violet. So it's a near 50-50 split of the two colors. So this one out in daylight will still show some violet. You know, as most of you know, Tanzanite in daylight will be more blue and in incandescent will be more violet. We've got a stone later that's a trillion that is dramatic color change. The purple is so dramatic and incandescent. And then when you go to daylight, the purple is still there, but, you know, it's much more blue. So they definitely do a color shift and occasionally a color change. So this gem appraises at $10,350. Our sale price on it, that's online, is $59.50. And with the 15 off, it's $5,058 or $586 a carat.
Show it on your hand.
Can even get the red flash there.
And in case you're new here or you're not sure of like how you would set something like this up, they do have where you can essentially create your own piece. So if you want to set it in, you know, a ring or a necklace, they do custom designs. So you would have to obviously call, right, and talk to, you know, Alice.
Talk to Alice
and she could get it going. But
yeah, you have ideas, or, you know, we'll use your ideas. Chris, my nephew, is our designer, and he does a great job. Creates a design in CAD. You get to see it as a CAD render. You can see it as a CAD video. You can even see the wax. We can send you the wax of the piece finished, a wax model, so you can get an idea just what it'd look like on your hand.
And then just to pop in too, for any of those new people that are watching, or if you just hopped on, all of the stones tonight are 15% off on MoreGems.com using the coupon code TRIP15. But not only that, Steve announced earlier, I don't know if he said it again, but the entire website is actually 15% off. So even if you see a piece outside of the show, a mounted piece, so you see a ring, a pendant, earrings that you like, you can also use coupon code TRIP15, and that'll give you 15% off those items as well. So act now to get that discount. And then if you're enjoying the show, please like and subscribe.
And the discount is good on both More Gems and Tanzanite jewelry designs. So good for jewelry and loose stones. So
We have a question about jade. They are wanting to know if jade is more rare and expensive than diamond.
Well, I'm sure there are cases where that's true. You know, the really top jade brings big money. I'm sure there's, I don't know the exact comparison, but jade can be extremely expensive in the really top green colors that almost look like emeralds, that have a translucency that is what makes their value. A deep, vivid green and highly translucent makes for a very expensive piece of jade. And I'm sure we'll see lots of jade. You know, Chinese are famous for their desire for jade. Much of the jade comes out of Burma, which is right next to Thailand. And so jade is pretty much everywhere at these shows. You know, I don't deal in jade because jade's very difficult to identify and know the prices of because there's such dramatic swings. Much treatment for jade. Lavender jade, one of the rarest of colors. If you go to the shows, lavender jade is everywhere, but it's almost all irradiated to color, so it's not a natural lavender jade. So these are the difficulties of identifying what's treated. You know, they're color enhanced, they're irradiated, they're filled with coloring that goes into the cracks, and that's one that you can identify because you can see all the green color typically in all the cracks. It's concentrated there, and whereas that's not true of natural jade. But most of it is, all the irradiated material is very difficult to ID and requires expensive equipment to do it. So that's why I don't deal in jade. Yeah. But you're right, it can be expensive. I'm not sure if per carat if it's as expensive as what, you know, how a 3-carat D flawless diamond and a top piece of jade would compare. I just know they're really, really expensive. So, all right, up next, an unusual color in Tanzanite. This is, the best color description would be periwinkle. And I think the current picture is probably showing a little deeper color than what it is, more accurate on the website. It's a light lavender or periwinkle color. So unusual shape, kind of a sail shape. If you're into sailing, we recently did a sailboat pendant. We've done several over the years. So it's one that would work for that, or just as a unique piece, you could set it across the finger. Or with the finger. But it's a color that I've never owned one, this color. Yeah, I say that. I've cut 2 or 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
I had one in the last show, but nothing this big. But, I bought, I think 4 pieces. I've got 2 yet to cut. But they're just a unique color because they don't change much in daylight. They're just lavender or periwinkle. They don't go blue. You go outside, they're not going to turn blue. I think they take a little tint of blue, but not much. So this is just a fancy color of Tanzanite that, again, I've never personally seen it. So this just came out just in the last couple of months.
Do these fancy Tanzanites usually sell pretty quickly?
Yeah, fancies have done
so.
real well for us. Yeah, it's been I look for them constantly, and I've come across a lot more than I've ever have before, but that's the constant search for them and people remembering that you're after them. And I think they've started producing a little more of these fancy colors, at least in the last couple of years.
This one's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Someone needs to
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
buy it up, or I'm going to put it on my mic wish list.
Oh, the mic wish list. Uh-oh. All right, I'll jot that down for the future.
I have a running wish list. There's always stuff that pops up, and I'm like, Mike, put this on my wish list.
This one weighs 10.37 carats, so it's a big one for a fancy. I mean, fancies don't typically come more than 2 or 3 carats is most fancies I've ever had. So it is a bigger stone, high clarity, praise price, which there again, the guide's not going to give you a price for periwinkle Tanzanite, but I just kind of relate it to what the blue Tanzanite would be, and I think appraising it at blue prices would be probably fair, although some fancy colors bring much more than the price of blue Tanzanite. Pink's most notable. A 10 carat pink would be 5,000 a carat. I don't know. Never seen one. So it'd be an expensive stone. So special piece. Our price online is $62.22. With the 15% off, it's $52.89 or $510 a carat.
I think somebody's asking. I think we've reached the threshold in Florida where we need to charge sales tax for Florida.
Yes, unfortunately. Florida, North Carolina. Each state has their own threshold of how much. Many of them are 100,000. Some are 500,000. I think California is 500,000 before you have to start charging sales tax. But unfortunately, Florida, we are in a taxing situation. So, and I'm not sure what Florida's tax is. Nancy would know, but Nancy, you want to chime in if you're out there? It's probably 7%, I think. So this is a cool gem, thrilled to own it. 10.37 carats. And up next, another one of those heated Tanzanites. Or tourmalines. I wish. I mean, I love it as a tourmaline, but if it was a Tanzanite, Anyway, this stone I just cut recently. Yes, this wasn't an old cut stone that I heated. I heated the rough and then cut it. I think that was the path.
Yeah, you showed last week. You took it out of the oven.
Oh, it was on the show. Ah, okay. So we showed it was rough, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You pulled the rough out right after you heated it.
Okay. Thanks for your memory there.
Yeah. So if anybody tuned in last month, Steve had pulled a piece of pink tourmaline rough from the oven that he had heated, and this is what the stone he cut from it is.
What setting did you put this on?
It's A.
It's on A. So the stone actually is not quite as brownish as this picture's showing, but I don't know what would L or S, I don't know. Not totally accurate. I like it.
No?
I don't. No, what the picture online is more accurate. I don't know what's. Anyway, beautiful color. It's just showing those blues. It's kind of dispersive blues. But the brilliance of this stone is really what's remarkable. You know, again, a step cut just can produce just outstanding brilliance. Weighs 13.77 carats, again, from Nigeria. This is part of the rough. I mean, I had this rough from the 1990s. This was a piece I just hadn't cut and finally pulled it out and heated it and cut it up. You know, I didn't cut it because the colors were not exciting and they weren't selling. You know, so until I heated it, it just did not become a beautiful gem. So the appraised price on this, $13,780. Our price online is $51.60, and with the 15 off, it's $4,386 or $319 a carat. Again, the appraised prices on these, the book prices have gone up so much in the last several years, you know, but when I bought this material, I mean, I bought it right. I wish I could go back and buy the whole Foot Locker full of it that she had, especially knowing that it does heat like this. So much of it had a brown core to it that just hurt the color of the stones, and that brown, fortunately, in general, can be heated out. Just very special stone.
Steve, Colleen wants to know if you've ever cut any, is it Pariba tourmalines?
No, I don't think I cut any. I've had a few, but yeah, I don't think I cut any.
That's like the blue, that bright blue color.
Yeah, it can be blue to green to blue-green. It's just the true Paraibas from Brazil. They just have a glow to them that is what makes them special. I mean, they have a great color, but they also seem to glow.
Those are the ones that are pretty expensive, right?
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, true Paraiba can be 30,000 a carat. Yeah, I think the Gem Guide does appraise Paraiba. They separate it out by Mozambique material because Nigeria, Mozambique produced it. But the best, which is not coming out anymore, came from Brazil. Somewhere in here is Paraiba. Paraiba, a 3 carat, the high end, 60,000 a carat.
What about, are they usually like, you know, have inclusions or cloudy?
Well, most of it does because at 60,000 a carat, they're willing to go down to 2,500 a carat and have this stone that's just full of crap, you know, and that's kind of what you pay for a stone it's notably included. You know, that's mostly what you see. You don't see much brilliance. You just see inclusions, but still it's a couple thousand a carat. You know, and the difference between Cuprian tourmaline, which is what comes out of Mozambique and Nigeria. that same 3-carat stone, the high end is 11,500. So still expensive stone, but a fifth the price of what this material from Paraíba.
And how do you compare, like, when it's coming from Nigeria or Mozambique? Is there any?
They're remarkably similar, and they came out about the same time. I mean, Paraíba came out earliest, but Mozambique and Nigeria, I don't know why that seems, pretty sure that's correct. Those two sources came out very, very similar time, and had never been seen before, so it's just one of those odd situations.
Colleen says thank you for answering her question.
You're welcome. All right, let's have a little word from Mineral Mike.
Mineral Mike.
Mineral Mike, who is that?
Hey. Hello, everybody. Mineral Mike here. I'm coming today to show you a few mineral specimens that we're throwing into the mix. Since it's September, I thought I would feature some corundum sapphires. So this first one is a 8.52 carat yellow sapphire crystal. It's kind of weird in the
With the
there you
go. That's
let me
better.
Block my face here. But this one, it was not natural, this color. We heated this one.
I think we should cut it.
Yeah, it came out to really beautiful, kind of vibrant yellow. I don't know if it's coming to...
I don't know. Part of it looks clean.
Yeah, it is on the one end for sure.
Yeah.
But it's
How
a
much
really
you
nice
asking for
color.
it? I'll take it.
Yeah. It's from Sri Lanka. Like I was saying, it has been heated. And this one is $379 plus the 15% off. So that'd be about $322. But it'd make a cool pendant or a ring.
Yeah, nice shape.
Or even, just for a mineral collector. Really just a nice yellow. I like that one a lot. It came out really well. I heated up, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 of them. I think 4 of them were just destroyed from the heating process. There's just too many inclusions in them. But I got 2. I got a small, like 3-carat one that came out really deep blue. And then this one turned yellow. So that's the sapphire crystal.
Great looking pendant.
Yeah. No, it would be cool, I think.
Yeah.
So, Mike, when you, like, if you were to cut something like that, like, how large of a cut stone would you get? Like, would you say half of the material?
Oh, no way. Yeah,
You just got to get a carat.
Yeah, it would.
If you got a carat out of it, it would be worth $700-800.
Yeah, and yeah,
I know. We ought to look at closer at that.
Steve's always trying to cut my minerals. So yeah, if you want the yellow sapphire, get it before Steve wants to cut it up. Next, I have a ruby crystal, which is
I love that.
also
I think
corundum.
that's so cool. Just stuck into the matrix like that.
Oh yeah. Super cool. This one's from Tanzania, but you can see it's that same crystal shape. But this is a big crystal. It's ruby. It does fluoresce under UV light. So if you're into fluorescent minerals, this is a nice one.
That's some tough mining to get that out of the ground.
Yeah, it looks like it's like they were in these pockets. I don't know if it's
It's
calcite
gotta be
or what,
quartz.
but
You think it's quartz or
I'm not sure.
calcite? Yeah.
Yeah, it could be quartz, I guess, but
Yeah, I'm not sure if what it typically comes with.
But it does look like these other pieces, you could see they're in these little forming the pockets in there.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool piece.
It's from Tanzania, and this one weighs around 420 grams, and it's $449.
Did you get this on your guys' trip when you were there?
I did not. No, this one I didn't. I got this from a good supplier of mine. And I have one other piece that's similar to this. But I think this is the larger of the two. The other one's really nice as well. So this one, $449 and 15% off is right around $382. But a super cool piece. I mean, it sits really nicely. It's got that second crystal in there. But really cool. And
What do we
then,
call that long shape? That hexagonal?
yeah, I don't know.
There's a name for it.
Yeah. I should brush up on my crystal habits. But
It's hex, but that just that. I know there's a name for it.
and then lastly, since Steve was showing that large opal that he had cut, I figured I'd show you guys one of the specimens that, well, I'll show it to you in the water. I keep it in a water jar here to keep it from crazing.
This is one that we think would craze quickly.
Right. But it was a big specimen and it had really intense colors.
Yeah, those were great pieces.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and this material had been available pretty regular, but last year there was very, very little quality material available like this.
And this it's not showing the color very well.
You want me to put it under the camera here? Yeah, I
But,
think it'll show.
yeah, you know what? Once I close this out, we'll show it to you under the camera, and here, maybe you can show it
Yeah.
in yours. So you can see like it's almost like it's split. It's blue and green to one side, and then the red and yellows on the other. Super neat piece. For it's a 930 carat piece of opal from Ethiopia. It's the non-hydrophane material, so it doesn't need to be stored in water, which I just keep it in, just a little glass jar for displaying. And this one's $1,799. 15% off is about $1,529. But super cool, interesting, full of color. A lot of these that you'll see now that they just don't have as intense of colors as these pieces do. They'll be clear material, but not quite the same intensity as this piece here. And that's all I've got for you today. Other than that, if you guys go to, so these are all available on MoreGems.com in the same collection as all these other stones. But if you go to mineralmike.com, I'm also doing 30% off on select Tanzanite crystals. I think there's over 60 crystals that are listed for 30% off. So head on over to mineralmike.com if you're interested in that. All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
So we have someone interested in the shield Tanzanite. Can you possibly show that on your hand?
I could.
Or if you want me to come around.
This is
my
the
hand.
the blue one or the lavender?
She said the shield one.
I assume it's the 8 carat 60.
8.60. Shield Tanzanite. Laurel, were you looking for this one to see? Yep, rare 25 code. Yep. That'd be a great ring. In gold. Yellow gold.
Yeah.
Here, like that yellow gold.
I like yellow gold. It's a unique shape too, so I think it's pretty cool. I like the unique shapes too as well. I don't know if Laurel, if that kind of gets you too, but I also like the weird shape things. So
Was it bad? get our camera back running here. Hopefully.
Batteries are all not charged.
Nope, that's upside down. There's a couple of them back there.
Maybe one.
Yeah, that. Okay.
All right, so go ahead and start on the next stone there, Steve.
All right. Well, this is hard to. Well, I guess I can. Yeah. This is just a totally unique, in my experience, Tanzanite. It's a Padparasha color, and it is. This is what I would call a true Padparasha if it were a sapphire. That pink-orange color, and this would be the epitome of what a Padparasha would be. So this is a Padparasha Tanzanite or zoisite, Padparasha fancy Tanzanite. Anyway, it's just a beautiful gem. I cut it into a Barian-style emerald cut. No appraised price, but the online price is $1,390. With the 15 off, it's $1,182. So $1,182 a carat.
Well, this one had sold.
Yes.
So this one is sold. Thank you.
To Phil.
Phil.
is the one
Thanks,
who
Phil.
purchased.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
No, it's a special stone. Yeah, you can be thrilled with this one. You know, I don't know whether I don't know what a Padparasha, what that does to the value of it. Never seen one, so I know pink's generally the most expensive, but should Padparasha color be the most expensive? I would vote for that. So hopefully I'll see another one of those someday.
Eileen must have wanted it too because she said Phil got her by a few seconds.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll see what I can come up with. I know I have a few little pinks to cut, but I don't know what they're going to cut. Pretty small. Hopefully I can get a carat out of a pink. You know, and this one I thought might be pink, but it had that bit of peach into it, and I thought it was going to be a bad thing, but then when I looked at it, I go, oh, you know, that's the color that I would want to own. I would far choose this over straight pink, just like in the Morganites. You know, take a little peach to it, much more desirable than straight pink.
Oh, I'm having issues here.
Find one that had some power.
Hopefully. For a little bit. Not very long.
All right.
All right, so let's go to the next stone.
And just so everyone remembers, the entire site is also 15% off. So in addition to the gems tonight, and then the rare, the hidden gems, those are at 25% off. The rest of the site is on sale as well with code TRIP15. They're just fixing a couple things here. As everyone knows, there's always something.
There's always glitches.
Yeah, something that happens during the shows.
So up next is a faceted opal. Kind of an odd shape, but odd shapes can do cool things, I guess. I don't know what's... we stopped is the problem.
Well, we'll have to go off of the videos.
Anyway, this is a 6-carat faceted Wheelo opal. The price $850. Price online is $540. And with the 15 off, it is $459, 75 bucks a carat. That doesn't come back, huh?
No, all the batteries are dead.
Really?
Yeah.
Thought I had one back there that had 80% in it. Here, let me go ahead. Did you try the ones in that other unit? Really?
When I see stones like this, the longer elongated stones, I always think this would be perfect in like a bangle bracelet.
Yeah.
Again, you probably have to be careful. Make sure you're not banging it
Yeah,
on
you
doors
can.
and stuff. But
True.
there was an amethyst that was similar to this, and this
I
reminded me
had
of
that really long one that
Yeah.
I still have that.
Do you?
We need to make it up like that
Yeah,
because it
pretty
would
cool.
probably sell. Yeah.
And we also had a couple sales. So Laurel ended up getting the shield tanzanite. So
Oh,
thank
cool.
you, Laurel.
Cool.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you,
That's-
Laurel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a nice gem.
You'll have to let us know if you're going to set it in something or what you plan to do with it. It'd be cool to see. And then also Samantha bought a pair of the oval tanzanite earrings.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, you'll love those. Yeah, it's just for their size, they have really, really great color. Tanzanite, the bigger it gets, the better the chances you are going to get a great color. But for that 1-carat size, they're just really remarkable gems.
Nice. Thank you, Samantha.
So we have 9 pair left. So anybody else out there, make a nice gift. Something for Christmas if you got somebody that, really good for any age group, young people, or, they're big enough for pretty much fit any ear.
Can you talk about them real quick again for those who are just joining us?
So this is a match pair of the measurements 7.5 by 5.5. Typically go in a 8 by 6 setting, probably. They weigh over a carat each. I've got 10 match pairs. They vary a little bit from more violet to more blue. The more violet is more common. But if there's a specific color you're looking for, we can try and look through the pairs and see if we can get as close to whatever you want. So if you're looking for a little more blue or a little more violet, just let us know. Or if you just choose any, then the deeper the color, although they're pretty homogeneous. I mean, it was a remarkable lot as far as wasn't a lot of variety of the depth of color of the stones. So it was just a good parcel to work from for doing this particular sale. So. All right. And I finished that one. Let's move on. And up next is really a beautiful blue topaz. And as Michael says, it's hardly worth sitting down and cutting that stone.
It's amazing, though. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it came out great. And that's why I cut it, just because they are just incredible stones.
This one stood out the most when I was looking, like when I was adding them to the site. This one stood out the most.
And this one.
And a wish list for Carrie.
Yep, sure.
So this is a cut. I don't know. I think maybe I've got it in here twice. It's a cut that I do. It's just kind of a mixed. It's a 16 mains brilliant. So it's like a diamond cut, but it's got more mains, which are the ones that go from the culate to the girdle, those long ones there. So there's 16 of them instead of 8, which is typical. Let me see if I put an extra row in there. And the crown on this is like a Well, it's Portuguese style faceting on the crown, but it just makes just an incredibly brilliant stone. And the unique thing about this that you can't quite get in this video is the little touch of green that's in it, which just makes it a even more special stone than what you're seeing. It adds so much to it, but I just can't, the camera just won't reproduce it. So just a beautifully brilliant blue topaz. For blue topaz, inexpensive material, it's all in the cutting and the cut on this stone. I'm really, really proud of. It's appraised value of $715. $650 is the price online. The appraised value and the sell price is close because topaz just doesn't bring a lot of money, and this is all the value is in the quality of the cutting, the amount of time that's in this. It's still 6-7 hours, probably 5-6 hours in the cutting of this stone. So I get paid less than my plumber.
So, Carrie, it looks like we had a sale.
Oh,
Yep.
we had a sale.
This one
All right.
sold.
This
Martha.
one sold.
Yes,
Ah,
thank you, Martha.
Thank
oh,
you,
cool.
Martha.
Cool. Yeah, it's you're hopefully you like the green that's in it. I mean, it just makes it special. You're gonna love the color when you see it, because it looks great here, but it's just better. Yeah, just a super, super stone. I wish I had time to cut more of these, if it was profitable enough, just because they become, when you cut them right, blue topaz can become the most beautiful gem there is. There's not a prettier blue stone. Just the value's not high enough to spend this kind of time cutting them. Unless I can cut a bigger one. If I cut a 20 carat, then it becomes worthwhile to cut. Still not like cutting a 20 carat Tanzanite. Just the value's not there. Thank you, Martha. All right, up next, I think we're into some hidden gems.
Carrie,
Are you ready?
hidden gems. The next
Ready.
round.
I'll get those up here. Real
So
quick.
we're coming into 4 sapphires here.
And just to remind everybody or anybody that's new, these hidden gems are all 25% off with the coupon code RARE25. And to see these, they don't show up right away. So if you've been on More Gems, they haven't shown up. But Carrie's going there. She's making them live. So just refresh the page. And shortly, Carrie will let us know when they're all live. You can shop these gems.
Do, 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 do. Got one done. So, in these, there's some special stones here. And the only reason I put them on these hidden gems, because sapphire is what we're going to Asia for, and it's what should be available. That's their most important stone. It's what they cut most. And I'm assuming there's going to be some stones available. So these were special stones that, I don't like to heavily discount, but the timing is right. So we'll get them out there. Which one is up?
They're all up.
They're all up. All right.
Hit refresh and they'll be there.
Yes.
Hit your
and
refresh.
As you share, are you going to share each one? Yeah. Okay. Then I'll add the price and the link to each one as you go through them.
All right. So the first one up is, what is the first on the list? The 452. Oh, it's this one. So this is a yellow sapphire, an intense yellow color, and just beautifully cut. It's a round brilliant. This again, it's a brilliant with step cuts. It's a kind of unique cut. I didn't do it. This was cut in Sri Lanka. This material comes from Madagascar.
That's going to be one of my favorite sapphires.
It's just intense color. And what happens if you move this over to where I'm at? It just looks, I just don't think it's producing the right picture. on the big screen. Can you put it on the little screen? It just look crisper. It does. I mean, it looks crisper.
It's because it's smaller.
Well, it just looks better. I don't know where I have to figure that out. It just looks a little smoky at least on my screen. Or like it's out of focus, or I don't know. Oh, anyway, it is really, for a yellow sapphire, it's just special. And getting a big round like this is not the easiest thing. Most of these sapphires will cut into ovals, would be more typical. Getting a 4-carat round is pretty difficult. Yeah, I don't know what. Whoop. I don't know. Don't worry about it. Well, why would it look different on the small screen? I don't know either. But intense color, trust the pictures that are online, would be your best bet here. But really, really well cut stone. This is one of our suppliers from Sri Lanka that we're going to see in, they're in Bangkok. Yeah, they're in Bangkok and Hong Kong. So they'll be our first stop because we do really, really well on sapphires with these people. They cut them nicely, and and Madagascar is my favorite source. Even though they're Sri Lankan, and a lot of sapphires come out of Sri Lanka, most of their material comes from Madagascar. And while I was going to Madagascar, the main town is Ilakaka, that produces a lot of sapphire. And all the offices along the street, almost all of them were Sri Lankans. Few Thais, but most of them were Sri Lankan dealers that were buying from the miners. So this particular stone, appraised value $11,480. Our online price $89.90. With the 25 off, it's $67.43 or $1,492 a carat. Looks better.
Just because it's smaller.
I don't know. Well, there's some reason, but anyway.
I think it looks good.
Yeah, great stone. One of the hidden gems, coupon code is RARE25. And the next stone up is an incredible blue sapphire. Same supplier. But this is just as fine a sapphire color as you get. Really a nice square cushion. Beautifully cut, high clarity stone. And just a lot of brilliance. Sapphire is the #1 selling gem. And therefore brings a pretty good price. This one weighs 5.64 carats. Appraised price of $49,630. Our online price is $28,400. And with the 25 off, it's $21,300 or $3,777 a carat. Great stone. And make a nice size ring. Particularly considering I've got a pretty big hand.
Take it closer to the camera and probably keep your face out of it though.
Keep my face out. Why?
What
are you talking about my face?
No, it'll focus on your hand if you hide your face. You hide your hand.
If I hide.
There you go.
Okay. You can see just really lively stone. And the color is much better than what's shown with this iPhone, but still looks good. Nice big stone. Nice, make a really, really nice ring. And the nice thing about sapphire is its durability. You know, you can wear it in a ring and it's going to hold up for you. And the next hidden gem is kind of an oddity. I love these bicolors. So it's kind of a yellow clear bicolor. Oop. Well. Let me show better on my hand. There you go. Oop. So pretty unusual sapphire. So this one weighs 3.55 carats, again from Madagascar. 91.50 is the appraised price. The 25 off brings it down to 49.20 or 1,386 bucks a carat. And the last hidden gem is one from Montana. This comes from our last trip to Montana.
These are all heated.
This is a Rock Creek stone. Yeah, all these stones are heated. Every one of these sapphires. So this is really a beautiful Montana stone. Montanas are typically more green, and this has a little green to it, but a lot of blue for Montana, and just a really nice blue color. And again, probably a 16 mains brilliant and a step cut crown, and produce some really nice brilliance.
Someone said this was denim. It reminded them of
Denim?
denim. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good.
yeah, I'd go along with that. And this one weighs 2 carat 5. And Montana typically doesn't come very big. Most of them are cut in carat and smaller. So getting a 2 carat is a bit of a rarity. Again, from Rock Creek, Montana, it is heated. Appraised value $51.25. $36.90 is our price online. With the 25 off, it's $27.68 or $1,350 a carat. And one thing you find out about Montana, they bring as high a value as probably almost any source, just because of the high popularity of Montana sapphires these days. You know, it's remarkable how much interest there is in Montana. And to me, remarkable the colors that sell. You know, a lot of the greens with just a little bit of blue in them, you know, remarkable sellers. You know, colors that in the past probably weren't as desirable, but these days, high interest. Battery again?
Could be overheating. Always something.
Yeah, probably have to look into a new camera.
Yeah, so let that cool down for a little bit. Good thing we got through all 4 of those.
And Got a
Yeah,
couple of
it's our
sales in the
yeah,
meantime.
that's our only source of.
We had a couple of sales in the meantime.
Oh, we got a couple of sales.
Yeah, I think this one, who was this from? This was from Samantha. It was a checkerboard smoky quartz amethyst. So I don't think that was in the show. That's not the show. One of the gems from the show, I don't think. And then we had Glenna placed an order too. She got 2 items. She did the fancy Tanzanite, the square cushion, and then she also picked up a pair of the Tanzanite earrings as well.
Was this one we haven't got to yet?
It was.
Was it? It's probably the next one, the 193 or.
The one is the 193. It is. It's the 1.93 carat.
Okay.
This one's amazing.
Well, I'm just not going to talk. No,
I should have waited, but there was
That's
a couple
okay.
sales.
No, kind of a unique color. You know, this stone is heated. It was a stone that I just didn't like the color, so I heated it, and I like the color. Then, you know, it's one of the benefits of heating. You know, you have something you don't like, you throw it in the oven, and it becomes much more special. So. You know, and it is the nature of probably more than half of all the gems sold that somehow heating is involved. You know, it just tends to alter the color of many, many gems, and this one included. So, you know, it's we weren't quite sure whether to call this what they call mermaid or combat or, you know, those are colors that are just very popular and typically are the blue, violet with green. Is what those colors are. So I think this applies, but you know, I'm not totally in tune with what the parameters of those names are. And we have too many names anyway in the gem business. You know, you just look at it and go, oh, that's pretty, but everything needs to have a name to make it special, I guess. All right, next stone, another faceted opal, kind of unique. This has a non-color bar down across it, which kind of splits up these color zones. You know, it you can see it there. It just is opal without color, separating these 2 patches of color that are really dramatic. You know, this has some very large, almost what you would call harlequin pattern in Australian opal, which is supposedly the most desirable pattern. And whether the shape of these apply to harlequin or not sure if these, I don't know. I think it's probably harlequin pattern. You know, if there's an Australian out there to give me some crap about calling it harlequin, go ahead. You know, tell me what it should be called. You know, but those typically those large patches are very desirable in Australian opal. You know, so this is a faceted gem. The faceting only makes it look unique. You know, it doesn't really have a lot of effect on this particular stone because it is fairly. It's not opaque, but it is translucent. But some of the faceted opals will get reflections off the back. That'll add some red color, desirable or not, you know. But, you know, this is just a unique stone. You know, you look at it, make a great ring. Just make something that you could just look at and just find very pleasing. You know, and it's colored extremely well front and back. If I had our camera here, I'd show you, but the backside is as beautiful as the front is.
It's a flagstone pattern.
Okay, I could see that. I'm not sure that that's a totally positive, but yeah, kind of looks like flagstone you put out. You think it was overheated? I have to get a liquid-cooled camera.
All right.
Ah, okay. Where's my... Let's Get some dark background for it. So, there's the back of it. Yeah, pretty incredible on the back. You could mount it upside down. And you see the, get the schmutz off it. Wow. All right. So you see that zone of, it's, I suppose we'd call it potch, no, non-colored opal down it. It's not a crack. It's just doesn't have any color in there for some reason. So it just adds some character to the stone or whatever I have on the top of that stone, driving me nuts. In the back.
For some reason, I see the stone being in like a necklace, like horizontally.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. Like east to west.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mount this side or in a necklace? I mean, it would show kind of,
Yeah.
That'd be
Either
interesting.
way, yeah.
yeah. Because the color, I don't know which side the color is better.
I think it would lay nice too. Like great if you did a shorter chain.
You come here to shop, Carrie?
To give ideas.
Oh, okay. We're getting a house this year. Jewelry's off the... All right. Our next gem is another one of the tourmalines that I hated. And I think the color on this one came out the most intense of all of them. You know, lightly included, but, you know, pink tourmalines are classed in this just like an emerald. They're class 3, which typically they're not clean. You know, they're considered to be almost always included. So GIA type 3 is what pink tourmalines are classed into. You know, but this is pretty much eye clean. You know, but there are a few inclusions in it. But the color on this one is probably the most intense of those stones that I heated. This one weighs 9.65 carats. Appraised price of $71.40. Our online price $31.95. And with the 15% off, it is $2,716 or $281 a carat. Again, from Nigeria. And it has been heated. Well, so a ring size, wearable ring size, a bigger stone.
You said this was heated, right?
Yes.
Did you heat it or did it?
Yeah, I just heated it just
Okay.
this week or last week.
This one's really
Yeah,
pretty.
again, it was a stone that's been here. I mean, if you look at the number, it's, no, I guess I redid it. So, no, that's a Tanzanite. Yeah, I redid it. Otherwise, the number would be 2,000 stones ago. At least that, would have been cut back in, could have even been my brother that cut it, Yeah. But anyway, those stones I cut back in the early 2000s. So next gem up is another fancy colored Tanzanite. Another stone that I heated recently. These we bought in Kenya. When we were in Tanzania, there wasn't much available.
Sure you didn't buy this one in Tanzania?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we bought it. What did I say? Kenya? Yeah, we bought it in Tanzania. Because the color on this one was one of the undesirable fancies until I heated it. I don't know what it was, and I wasn't sure why we bought it, other than there wasn't hardly anything available and we were getting a little desperate. So the color was a little off, and but I heated it, and it came out very pleasing.
So is there any green in that one? Eileen wants to know.
Yes.
I kept
The
seeing
green.
it at the
The green
bottom.
is subtle. The problem with this camera, again, like I talked about other stones, it tends to split the green out more dramatically when there's two colors in it. But there definitely is some green in it. But I think it's a little more subtle than what you're seeing in this case. It's more like what's on the website. And in generally just trust what's on the website. We work very, very hard to get those accurate, and it's much easier to photograph in the studio with the lights set up correctly than what you see here. This stone, $780 is our price online. And with the 15 off, it's $663 or $381 a carat. And our next stone up, Carrie, this is a bracelet stone.
Great. Hidden gems.
Oh,
Round 3.
hidden gems.
More hidden gems. Give me a second to get these online.
For those of you who are just joining us and maybe not have been here before, these are hidden gems. So if you went to the website, these ones didn't show up before, but now Carrie is making them live, and they're all 25% off. So use coupon code RARE25 on this group of 4 gemstones. Also, feel free to like, subscribe, share, hit the bell to get alerts for when we go live.
So this one is an opposed bar, and it makes an interesting brilliance. Now, unfortunately, this stone screams pendant, but it just doesn't work well as a pendant, or I'd have it made up already. I mean, what Carrie mentioned, bracelet would be great because you can get the full effect of the cut in a bracelet or a ring, although it's a long ring, but that might be the coolest place for it. Just because that effect of the opposed bar as a pendant, it doesn't look bad here, but it kind of make me, I don't know if it's because of the way the lights are.
Could be.
I just, when I look at it and hold it out, I just didn't see the ability to get that movement that shows that color is the issue with a pendant. Although it, I don't know. So the ring, when you can make it work easily, let's say it'll be a better ring or a bracelet, but obviously it would work as a pendant.
Well, you got a ring light right in front of you, too.
Yeah, I guess it depends where the light is. When I was looking at it, the light was, yeah, or at my same level. So I don't know, it works there. But anyway, this is a pose bar green tourmaline. It weighs 19 karat 29. Appraised value of $7,850. Online price is $34.90. Are you ready, Carrie? Okay, thank you. And
All live, Gary.
They're all live, and I'm adding the links as we go through them, and then I'll add the prices for you as well.
Everybody refresh the page and they'll show up.
So 25 off, it's $2,618 or $165 a carat. Carrie, do you see it online? Because she listed here $1,588, but I think it's $1,929 is correct. So this is a Brazilian stone. And this will come from Minas Gerais in Brazil, which I was there back in the early 80s. It was one of my first trips after Thailand, and me and a friend Jim went there a couple times and did really well in tourmalines.
You asking for what, the list price?
No, what the weight was. And this says 19.
Well, did you recut it or something?
Yeah, it's 15. Yeah, 1580. So that is correct. It's 15.88 carats. All right. The next hidden gem is a rhodolite, which I debate whether to actually call this an umbellite, which that's another name. Umbellite usually means a lighter form of rhodolite that's brighter and prettier than most rhodolites. And that would be the nature of this gem for sure. This very, very brilliant stone. Again, a 16 May. Not sure exactly. Well, it's a 3-row Portuguese back and a step-cut crown. But really great color and outstanding brilliance. It couldn't be more brilliant. Garnet's, the big problem is overly dark, and this one is definitely not that, and just fully brilliant. And the violet color of this stone is even much more dramatic than what you see in this picture. More like what's online, more violet tone, which is more to that umbellite color.
Show that one in your hand.
So this weighs 8.95 carat, appraised price of $53.90. Online price is $27.85. And with the 25 off, it's $2,088 or $233 a carat. And the next hidden gem is a remarkable opal. think this one may have been on a show before, but oop. I mean, the colors in this are just incredible. You know, every color of the rainbow, and just colored throughout. This is a stone that, if it were Australian, it'd be 500 a carat. Not a dead patch. And this is one place you can see the color indigo. But that's pretty incredible. So this opal weighs 25 carats, appraised price $4,500. Our price online is $2,500, somewhere around there. The 25 off, it's $1,943 or $78 a carat. Look at that opal. I mean, that truly is as fine of opal as exists. Still looks better small, Mike. Unless it's my monitor. How do you get a opal prettier than that? Great pendant. Nice size. And again, you know, daylight is, you know, although it looks good in every light, daylight is where it's going to shine the best. And the last of the hidden gems is a spinel. And spinel is one of the gems that has gone up in value the greatest, more than most gems. This one weighs 1.82 carat, comes from Sri Lanka. $5,100 appraised price. Our price online $2,490. With the 25 off, it's $1,868 or $1,026. Some colors of spinel have outpriced sapphires, particularly pinks. You know, some of the stuff from Tanzania, you know, have hit prices of $3,000-$4,000 a carat. The mahenge spinels. They're a little more intense than this, but not dramatically. And spinel is good, tough stone. You know, it's going to hold up you can wear it in a ring. Sure. Let the tweezers cover half of it. This camera doesn't help the color any. Pales it out.
We have a question on the opposed bar tourmaline. Is it a chrome variety?
No.
No.
If it were chrome, it would be $15,000.
Say, yeah, those are in a little different green, right? Like a
Oh yeah,
different
it's a
green.
dramatically different green, and they just almost don't exist that big because they get overly dark real quick, and and extremely pricey. The difference between chrome and regular tourmaline is 200 a carat compared to 1,000 a carat. So. And the next stone is one I mentioned earlier. This is one that it changes color pretty dramatically. It can go that blue, or it can be even more purple than what the camera that just died was showing us. And there we go. Because in a straight incandescent bulb, this is just remarkably purple. And in daylight, I think maybe the blue in the picture online is a little too blue. There's a little more violet to it than that, even in daylight. But it has a remarkable color change. Well, technically color shift. Because it's not, I don't know, the change is probably 70%. But a really beautiful gem. Rating of 968 out of 1,000, which is very, very high. Nicely cut and just beautiful color. This Tanzanite appraised price of $7,875. Our price online is $45.75. The 15 off, it's $34.31. What's that figure? Or $506 a carat. I suppose that's right. Really nice gem, beautiful pendant, beautiful ring. It's very lively.
I feel like there's more trillions on this show than normal. Did you do that
Is
on
there?
purpose?
What else was a trillion?
I don't know. I feel like there's a few of them.
A shield and just some shields. Well, there was the tourmaline. No, nothing on purpose.
And then the zircon too, right?
Oh, zircon. Yeah, you're right. All right, and the last of the heated pinks. This one definitely my brother cut, because it goes back so far, and it's a cut that I never do. Well, actually, I did recut it, the pavilion, because it had a particular style of faceting that I don't like, which has a big facet right in the middle, and it just tends to make a dead spot. It's a common style of faceting in some of the cutting designs. So I did actually sit down and redid the faceting of the pavilion, and it did get much more brilliant. But the original cut goes back to my brother's time. So again, stone we just heated, went from a much browner stone to this pink coloration. Weighs 10.57 carats, appraised price of $5,070. Our price online is $29.60. And with the 15 off, it's $25.16 or $238 a carat.
Show how big that one is.
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
Slap me. Yeah.
A lot bigger than what? What's that? Yeah.
We have a question again on the tourmaline, the chrome tourmalines. Is
Uh-huh.
there a certain mineral that makes those special?
Yeah. Think about the name. How about chrome? Chrome is the coloring agent, and chrome tourmalines, there's a filter you can use on them, you can tell which are chrome and which aren't, because the filter will turn the chrome stones red when you look at it in a bright light with a chrome filter. The chromium containing stones will appear as red, at least in the case of tourmaline. And the standard green tourmalines will just stay green. So it's a pretty easy separation for those two gems. And you can separate Tsavorite and chrome tourmaline, which can look very similar with the chrome filter. You just put it up to your eye and look at the gems, and the chrome tourmalines will be bright red. So chrome is the coloring agent, whereas in the green tourmaline, it's iron, maybe some other things, but totally different coloring agents.
Before we hop on this one, why don't we tell everybody the light special?
Oh, yeah. A little repeat of our welcome to the MoreGems Blue Light Special. Flashing in our jewelry department on these match pair of oval Tanzanites. They have a vivid color. They weigh over a carat each. The average pair will be 2 carat 30. They'll vary somewhat from that. High clarity and just really beautiful color. And from $805, which is our online price, the price I think is $483 for the pair, which is $210 a carat for just really, really nice oval tourmalines. So we have 10 pairs, now 9 pairs available, 8 pairs available. It's just a really good value in these gems. I bought a nice big parcel of them, and the colors were all nice, and just a very well priced pair of Tanzanites. All right, next stone is a peach color sapphire. Weighs a carat 14. Just a stone with high clarity and just kind of a unique color. Not enough pink into it to call it Padparaja, which pink orange would be what a Padparaja is. But this is kind of lacking the pink and a more orange. Maybe a slight pink to it, but won't bring the price of Padparajas, because a 1 carat fine Padparaja maybe $3,000-$4,000 a carat. And this stone is a carat 14, praise price of $1,140. $880 is our online price. And with the 15% off, it's $748 or $656 a carat. VS1 clarity, so really high clarity for a sapphire. Just very pleasing stone. We'll see this supplier in Asia, and hopefully we'll get a lot of more unique colors as well as some more fine blues.
Size.
Yeah, it's a 7.5 by 5.6, so a decent ring size. And again, comes from Madagascar and is heated.
Got another quick question.
Uh-huh.
Colleen wants to know, have you used the Hanneman Hodgkinson filters? And if so, are they easy to use and understand for novices?
Some of them are good and I understand them. Depends which one. You know, he's got filters for Tanzanite, which I have that, and it's an effective identifier for Tanzanite, and they probably supply chrome filters. Not sure what's up with the company because he died just recently. I met him. He came to a meeting we had with other cutters, and he gave us a couple of filters that he's made. He made all sorts of filters, emerald filters, which I have not used much. I have an aqua filter I'm going to take on the trip with us, and it'll separate out aqua, blue zircon, blue topaz, you know, and it's usually just the color it turns things, so it's usually pretty easy. Like the aqua filters, the aquas will look a bright green in the filter, whereas topaz won't and blue zircon won't. So it's just they're generally pretty easy to use. Some are more effective than others. You know, when you get into the emerald filters, there's so many different types of emeralds. You have to know what synthetic you're looking at, or you have to use several filters to get you closer to identifying whether it's a synthetic or not. So in some of the filters, it works some of the time, but not all of the time. And here's another really, really fine Tanzanite. Gets a 960 rating, which is extremely high for our rating system. Particularly when there's not, you know, this is really well cut. It's not perfectly cut, which affects it quite a bit. But it's a remarkable gem. You know, it's 45% blue, 55% violet, so a nice, almost even mix of the two colors. So in daylight, it's going to appear much more blue, and in incandescent, which I don't have, you'll get more of a violet color. There'll be a pretty good change, but always a good mix of the two colors, no matter what light you're in. Appraised price on this one is $7,540. Our price online $4,280, and with the 15% off, it's $36.38 or $553 a carat. You know, you don't get a lot of this square step cut in Tanzanite, you know, but they always show really well. I mean, they show full brilliance and just show off the color extremely well. You know, but more often they're cut as more brilliant square cushions rather than these square step cuts. I personally prefer this cutting over a square cushion, just because it shows the color so remarkably well. You know, the depth's right, no extra depth, but you still get full brilliance. Nice ring size, great pendant size. Work pretty much in any piece of jewelry. We had a sale.
Yes, it was not this stone. Martha picked up the pair of kunzite.
Ah, cool.
Yeah,
Very
pure
nice.
Kunite. Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you,
those
Martha.
are such great stones. Yeah,
That's
yeah, you're going to love them. It'd be interesting to see what you do with those. Don't forget, no sunlight. Evening. It's an evening stone. Yeah. Good. I can feel good about buying some more in Asia because I got to think it's going to be there. But we'll see. You never know what you're going to find on any given day, and just hopefully there's a good supply because I'm anxious to do some buying. So our next show should have a really nice selection of maybe some things you haven't seen from us before. Is the hope. We'll get some nice sapphires, maybe some rubies. The issue with rubies, they're really hard to photograph. So it's hard to have on these shows. But if we get them clean enough, rubies are typically included, and that makes the photography difficult. So if we can get some that are clean enough, and maybe they'll photograph well enough. And red is tough to photograph also. So those are some of the reasons we haven't had much rubies in our shows. But rubies on my mind, but I also know that it is really expensive right now. So hopefully it's something we can afford and come back with. And like I say, hopefully we'll get some new gems you haven't seen for our next show.
And yeah, if anybody has any questions for Steve, we'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, you want to tell them a little bit more about the sale that we've got going on right now for both TanzaniteJewelryDesigns.com and MoreGems.com in unison to the show?
I think you almost did it there, Mike. So both websites, it much to do with our coming trip. We're trying to get some more cash together, and because this could be a really good trip. I've had some great trips. My past trips to Bangkok have been remarkably successful, and only Africa just kind of swayed me from going there. I always knew that it was somewhat of a mistake quitting going to Asia because they're really great cutters, and the amount of goods that have been available to me there in the past has been remarkable. I used to go in 3 days. I'd finish a trip and spend all my money, and in less than a week you're there and back. And when you go to Africa, if you're lucky, you spend your money and spend 2 weeks there. So hopefully it's still the same, and we have as much success there. We're looking for a lot of different things. Some new cutters that hopefully find some cutters doing the kind of quality cutting we're doing on high quality machines rather than their typical jam peg cutting, which is never quite as accurate, although I have to say they're pretty remarkable at it. But the quality faceting machines we use are starting to be used over there, and I hope to find more cutters doing much cutting like we do. And hope to find small stones to accent our stones, small color that we can buy in lots that we can produce mixed colored pieces is also on our list, and maybe finding some manufacturers there that maybe could manufacture for us a little less expensively than we do here, but I don't have high hopes for that. And buying diamond milling, and hopefully buying diamond milling a little bit cheaper than what we currently are buying at. So there's a lot of hopes for this show. So therefore, the 15% off with coupon code TRIP15 on everything, both on Tanzanite Jewelry Designs and MoreGems.com. So that's pretty much going to do it for us today, unless you have some questions.